All right, let's
We give this guy the starring role, and he wears a Marvel shirt.
Meet Kent, Ryan, and Terry. We're just three random dudes who get together every Saturday to talk about the two things in life that bring us a daily dose of serenity: coffee and Star Wars. We call it JavaJawaJaw.
What's going on, guys? We're back with another episode of JavaJawaJaw. Thank you for joining us again. If you don't know, I'm Ryan. That's Kent. That's Terry.
Hey.
And we're having a good time talking about Star Wars. Last week we had the episode of The Gunslinger. That was episode 5.
We talked about that already, right?
We did.
Yeah.
We did a live stream because somebody had the Mandalorian flu.
Oh.
And
If you've never had the Mandalorian flu, it's something else, man. It's like 2 Earth flu strains combined.
it lasted a very long time. Yeah, you don't want that. So
Whistling birds in your stomach.
we decided
Or like in your lungs. But
right.
Yeah.
Well, Kent and I decided we didn't want it, so we just did a live stream so we could stay as far away from Terry as possible. And it was great.
I was such a pariah.
It was great. We also had our buddy Greg Cook on for that. If you want to check out episode 5 review, put a link up there. Definitely go check that out. But today we're going to talk about episode 6 of the greatest show on Disney Plus. And so
Is
far,
it the only show on Disney Plus?
no, there's others.
There's
There's probably some shows, but
It's the only one I watch.
I don't know. There's movies. They got Star Wars movies,
I do play with the movies a lot.
right? So I mean, Empire I've watched 5 times.
Empire keeps following up every episode of The
Right.
Mandalorian that I watch, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, all right, yeah, I'll just follow that for
Yeah.
a little bit.
Empire's great.
Because it's Empire.
And because like 2 weeks ago I picked up the Hoth Leia hot toy figure on our trip to Raleigh.
I picked it up 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and so you made me buy it, so I got it. And so anyways, we got that going on. So we got a lot of stuff happening on Mandalorian on Disney Plus, and we got some awesome stuff coming soon after the Mandalorian's done. Then we've got a little bit of a break, and then we've got Clone Wars. And I saw some stuff on Cassian and K2 coming up, which we may be a little while. That's it, might be a year.
That's pretty far in the future. We got
Yeah.
a good year at least until that gets dropped.
We
I think.
got Obi-Wan. Just so much awesome stuff dropped in this past week. But we're here to talk about episode 6. Have you seen it yet?
I've seen it.
Okay, just checking. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, just
3 times.
3 times.
I have not seen that episode more than 3 times.
More than 3 times. I have watched it 3 times as well. 3 times as well. So far. Man, it's funny because it's Saturday morning. It just dropped yesterday, like
Right.
Friday. And we've watched it 3 times. And it's...
I legitimately woke up at 4 a.m. today just so I could watch it again before coming here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dedication. That's what we do here, guys. Dedication, right? So I've watched it 3 times. Kent's watched it so we've watched it. And this episode, which Kent was kind enough to figure out the name for it, The Prisoner.
Apt title.
It was a great title.
Yeah.
It, for me, I'm going to throw this out. I'm going to go ahead and throw it before we even get started. But for me, my favorite episode of all of them.
Really?
Favorite, yes.
Wow.
Favorite. Action, humor. I mean, we got some backstory. We got to learn more about our Mando. We got more Baby Yoda, which I thought maybe be absent for the episode, but then of course
It
he
looked
wasn't.
that way.
I was like, wow, he's like, it's good to sleep through this episode. But no, he didn't sleep through the episode.
I got to save some money this episode. Let's give the puppeteers the day off.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we'll get to the ending of it was like, it was fantastic. So I enjoyed every minute of it. But we got this deal where last episode 5, Gunslinger, Mando gets his ship repaired. Partly, he had a battle, he had a space battle. Gets his ship repaired. Deals with the other bounty hunter guy, and then he escapes off and runs off with Baby Yoda. And then this episode he pops up, and he has contacted somebody from his past, an old acquaintance. I don't know if it was a boss that he worked for in the past, or they worked on the same team, but it appears that it was like a long time ago.
They used to run jobs together.
They ran jobs.
That's pretty much it. Very much. I've got a Silverado vibe from it. Kind of like when what's his name's character ran into Brian Dennehy in Silverado, and you just get this mystery of clearly there was just a past in which they did a bunch of illegal stuff.
Right.
Really
It's like it reminded me of Black Widow and Hawkeye in Budapest. Right?
Just that subtle acknowledgement of something that we'll never know the story of.
We'll never know.
But that's okay.
You and I remember Budapest very differently. You and I remember Endor differently. It was very cool. But he meets up with this guy, and I thought it was interesting because Mando contacted him and said, I guess he needed money.
He's strapped.
Yeah. And Mando
he's painted himself into a corner. He doesn't really have any the access that he used to have anymore. So.
Right, and he spent all his money fixing his ship. So the money he stole from the other bounty hunter.
Razor Crest is not cheap to maintain. It's kind of like a European car in that regard.
I still want one though.
Yeah.
If I could have a Razor Crest, it would be cool. Then I
don't like paying the maintenance bills.
Oh well, it's gonna be an expensive thing. But
they're useful as we see in the episode.
Oh, that's
right.
True. Yeah.
That's the only. Yeah, exactly. So he messages this guy and says, "Hey, I need work. I need some money. Do you have any jobs for me? Whatever it is." So he's reaching out to old contacts because he's broken the connection with the guild.
Right.
Right. He's lost his connection there. He's lost his friends list, I guess.
The New Republic's a joke.
New Republic's a joke, right? And he says, I got a job for you, which is interesting. So on this ship, this space station, right? On the space station, he says, I got a job for you. It's a 5-person crew. I have 4, and I need your ship.
But he doesn't tell him that until he gets there with the ship.
He doesn't tell him that. And he doesn't tell him what the job is, or you don't think. Yeah, because he explains it later. So he doesn't tell him what the job is, just says, hey, I got something for you, come see me, and they do that.
And if I can just interject, that associate of his from the past is played by Mark Boone Jr., just the first in a long line of, I don't want to call it cameos, but definitely familiar faces that we're going to see throughout the course of this episode.
Oh yeah,
it's
piles
ridiculous.
of them.
Like legitimately, I have a list here that's like we haven't seen. This is unprecedented
familiar
in this
faces
show.
And voices were all over this episode.
All over the map,
right?
Yeah.
It was really, really good. He meets up with this team of 4, which one of them was very interesting because it was a droid. So that was an interesting thing. But he meets up with this guy and says, hey, I got this job for you. And this other Mayfield, right? That was the guy with the gun thing going off his shoulder, which I don't know how that was controlled, but that was pretty cool.
He's not a stormtrooper.
Played by the incomparable Bill Burr.
He reminded me, the gun thing reminded me,
Sorry.
The gun thing reminded me of War Machine.
Mandalorian flu.
Yeah, it reminded me of the War Machine with this little turret thing going off the end. That was pretty cool. That was an Iron Man-esque deal. That was pretty good.
I'm trying to think of where I've seen that before.
I don't know.
It's not the first time that I've seen that kind of a rig, and I'm not just thinking about War Machine either, but it's something I've seen elsewhere in sci-fi.
I want to say Shadows of the Empire. Didn't the main character have something similar to that?
I do not know.
Well,
I don't remember.
Somebody out there, if you know, put it down below.
I think Dash Rendar had something similar to that in Shadows of the Empire.
That's something we should probably bring up. We're not going to know everything when we're talking about this, so if we bring something up like this and anybody out there has any information, please enlighten us, because we can never get enough info about Star Wars. If you've got something that we don't have in our repertoire yet, let us know.
Exactly, because we don't know everything, but we want to.
Troll these two, don't troll me.
The quest, the journey is the glory. Is that right?
Something like that. The journey's it's difficult for Mando right now.
Anyway,
so he meets up. He says that Mayfield is my. Whatever he says is like it's coming from me, so I'm giving my authority to Mayfield, and you just listen to him. And they clearly don't. They're not friendly right off the bat for whatever reason. And I wonder why that is, why this Mayfield guy doesn't like Mando, like right off the bat.
I think it's just alpha male psychology.
Yeah, ego.
Yeah, it's kind of there's a whole lot of ego involved, and you're just he's not. Neither one of them is sure about the other. They have no background on each other. Right. They don't know who to trust. And in this kind of industry, this kind of business, then you're constantly going to run into shady types who are going to betray you at every turn.
Clearly.
So any time that you meet somebody new, there has to be a healthy level of skepticism.
And it's an operation where you don't ask questions.
Right. I wonder. I was thinking about this. I'm wondering if the head guy was kind of bragging about Mando to Mayfield, and maybe he just got kind of jealous. He's like, this in the old days we did this and we did such and such and we did all stuff.
Exactly.
And I wonder if he's just like, oh, well, if he's so awesome and
Yeah, it's kind
whatever.
of like, you know, if you're talking to your wife about your high school girlfriend all the time, then she might just feel a little bit testy.
Right. That's why you talk to her about your current girlfriend.
That's probably not
that's
something
not,
you would do.
That's
No.
not right.
No.
We'll X that. That's going to get you murdered.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
But he goes into
Bob it.
it starts going around to the team, introducing the team, which is a pretty cool team, and then he introduces Zero, which is a droid.
What a great design!
Yeah.
I mean,
That's cool.
they're basically riffing off of that. There's a precedent there because of the whole insectile appearance.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering just how much Doug Chiang had a role in that, because I know Chiang just loves basing all of his designs, or many of his designs, off of insects as much as he does automobiles. But just I'm getting a lot of Forlom vibe.
Exactly. And,
Right.
and the personality was great, too.
Yes.
I love the personality.
Yeah.
It was great.
Just haughty and cocky and arrogant and just a bit of a smartass.
You
too.
100%. And
Yeah.
with the accent, he was like a Australian-ish accent on the droid. I like watching droid
Yeah,
accents.
I think so. I don't know if he's Australian or Kiwi.
Yeah, but it was not English. And it was not like your normal English villain accent, or it wasn't any of that, but it was something definitely further south. But I enjoyed it because all the droids, you just wonder where the droids actually, because they program, where do they get their accents from? I don't know.
From their program.
Right? So
Yeah,
whoever.
or, I mean, if it's like, well, it's like with your iPhone. I mean, you can
Right.
pick whatever accent you want your Siri to have based on, and they do that because it's supposed to be based on whatever region you live. They're going to sell an iPhone to somebody here. They're going to sell an iPhone to somebody in South Africa.
Right.
So you want to be able to have your phone talking to you in your own accent.
Mine's R2D2.
Oh, that would be so cool.
It's really hard to understand
attention, Apple.
sometimes.
Something need to be working. Yeah.
It's like, I really want to learn that language, but I don't know.
Which is like no different than the Irish accented one for me. But
So Mando is forced to have this droid on his ship, but not only on his ship, but flying the ship.
Man.
Flying the ship, and I'm going.
Hard times,
That had to be tough.
That's a line you don't want to cross.
right?
Like you
know?
but
There are just
hanging out in the
there are just
cargo
some
hold-
things that are sacred.
Yeah, you hang out in a cargo hold's one thing, but flying your ship, that's like taking your enemy who killed your parents, and he gave them the keys to his sports car and said, drive.
It's like if somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, mind if I take a ride on your Ducati?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it?
That was Zero.
Siri, great accent.
Shut up, Siri.
I'm not sure I'm hearing you correctly. My apologies.
Whose phone is that?
It's mine.
Is it? No,
Yeah,
okay.
but I don't know why she woke up.
Because we kept talking about Siri.
I guess that's Apple's listening, guys.
Yeah.
Scary.
You don't even know.
Pay attention.
But
Because Apple is.
He gets this. He gets the droid into the ship. They're going to take off. They're going to go do this. After he figures out that it's not a rescue mission, it is a breakout mission. Right? It's prison break. That's what this thing is. Prison break from a New Republic prison.
Yeah. Prison barge.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
And that's what makes this episode special, is because we're getting a classic breakout story told in Star Wars, which is something I don't know that we've seen yet.
It's a heist.
That's not true.
Well, episode.
That's not true.
A New Hope, right?
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, when they broke out Tarkin and all those clones that were captured with him from the Citadel, Citadel run in Clone Wars.
Well, it's not. It's similar to A New Hope, though. They went and rescued Princess Leia. It's similar to that, but it wasn't a. They weren't very sneaky. in either episode, they weren't very sneaky on either.
No, and in this the plan was going so smoothly, obviously, until what's his name? I'm looking at Berg. Until Berg blew it by blasting the mouse droid.
The mouse droid for nostalgia purposes.
And by the way, if you didn't dislike Berg at that point, the simple fact that the Deveronian shot a mouse droid definitely puts him in the bad guy category.
Oh yeah,
Bad guy.
that mouse droid didn't do anything to him.
No, mouse droids don't do anything to anybody except
He could have told on him,
I guess.
but he shot him up. But it was funny though.
I gotta say
It was
that,
funny.
that myself, I've blasted a few mouse droids in a few video games in my time.
Boom. Now we can't trust him. He kills mouse droids. So, Kent, what was your thoughts on when they docked up to this thing? They're breaking out there, and then they get on here and find all these droids. They kind of get to the scene where they were scoping out the place. They found all these droids, and then Mando disappears. He's gone. Runs off. What were you thinking?
First, love the droids. You wonder, or at least I do with the New Republic, how are they kind of holding what regions they are. So you kind of see that they're employing whatever they can get their hands on. So here's these New Republic droids kind of operating this ship for the most part as the security detail. I did talk with Terry a little bit on the way over, and the bigger droids, I don't think they're the same ones that are on Resistance, but there were droids that were doing like different patterns where they were kind of patrolling the space station there on Resistance. So I thought that was kind of cool to see how people are employing these different aspects and taking advantage of kind of what they have, and it goes back to the planet and the resources. So the New Republic definitely stretched and using what they can get their hands on.
That's interesting. We're talking about like galactic economics here. What have they got? They've got X amount of manpower, and they've got a whole galaxy to cover. So what do? You can either go. It's just like the same issue that you contended with in the prequel trilogy. You either go with a droid workforce, or you go with clones.
Yep.
Yeah, but in this case, obviously they opt to go with droids.
And the one person I felt the most bad for, the worst, it's good English, was the lone operator of this station. Like, what did he do to get stuck there with a bunch of droids on his own in the middle of nowhere?
Who did he anger?
He pissed somebody off.
Definitely did.
He's the captain, though. Captain of the ship.
He's the captain. Yeah, he pissed somebody off.
He's the lieutenant of the ship. That is a rubbish detail to be stuck in.
That's like when you do something stupid and your military says, we're going to relocate you to Alaska or Siberia or something. I mean, he's there by himself, stuck with a bunch of droids. Mm-hmm. In a room.
That poor bastard.
You know he was just in there playing video games.
He's in there playing Galaga. That man's playing Galaga.
He's playing Galaga.
Things we don't see, but we're watching you, man.
He had nothing to do. Yeah. I mean, everybody's locked up. He's got droids patrolling the walkways. What was he doing? He's playing Galaga.
That uniform callback was awesome.
Right? With the helmet?
Blockade runner, our rebel trooper,
Rebel Fleet Trooper.
New Republic captain.
Matt Lanter played that role.
Oh, okay.
Voice of Anakin Skywalker in Clone Wars, and also in two crucial episodes of Rebels.
Ooh, yeah, the ones in Rebels were definitely crucial, no doubt.
Oh yeah,
they were great.
Not to spoil it for anybody.
If you haven't seen Rebels,
get right on that.
Hit pause, go watch that, come back.
Then come back.
That's I need his autograph, by the way, because I have James Arnold Taylor's autograph. I need his, and Sam Witwer. I need Sam Witwer's as well.
Now you know what he looks like.
I have a great photo of me with Sam Witwer.
Oh,
it is the best photobomb in history.
Now I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
This one, like you said, the callback to the.
We'll put that up in the corner.
the callback to the nostalgia part of this. They continue every episode to throw something in there. We had the mouse droids. We got the helmet from the Republic. Lieutenant guy. It just all of this
Easter
stuff.
eggs galore.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And then we get kind of into the section where they're going to actually take out these droids because the guy decided to knock out the mouse droid, which was a jerk move. But Mando kind of disappears and flanks everybody and says, "I'll just go take all the droids out myself."
Move.
He just ninja'd it and said, "I'm out."
Why didn't that occur to anybody else?
How did he get there? Was there just like a looped corridor? He walked around, everybody snuck in? I don't know how he got there.
It's a prison block. I mean, it's pretty clear that it's going to be kind of laid out in a grid pattern, at least to a certain extent. So he probably knew that. He had a good look at the schematics before they went in.
Yeah, he knew what was up, and he took out all the droids on his own while everybody, the team, is bashing him, talking Mayfield especially. I knew that Mando was going to run all the way and leave us behind and all that.
Mayfield, you're a punk.
Which was interesting because their plan from the entire beginning was to not have him along. I think that was 100% the plan. So I think there was two mission objectives in this whole thing. One, rescue the guy. What's his Quinn?
The prisoner.
Quinn. I think his name was Quinn. Rescue him, and number 2, I think they just wanted his ship.
Yeah, it didn't occur to me that they might want the ship.
I think they
The
wanted
Razor
ship.
Crest is a bad toad, as
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah.
So
I think that
yeah, I
was
think
their
you're probably
objective.
right on that.
Yeah, I think that's what they
Get
want.
rid of Mando. Get the revenge. You know, they saw an opportunity when he contacted them. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, this guy dealt us dirty. He left us in the lurch, and now he wants back in. Well, to hell with that. He does have a sweet ship, though.
Yeah, and
And we
it's,
do have this job that we're doing.
and it's off the radar. It's not
Yeah.
Republic. It's not Empire. It's,
Yeah.
it's kind of in the middle, and nobody. It had the ability to sneak in past their little tracking deal, and
So I think we just walked ourselves through the motivations of Ranzer Malk and his ilk.
yeah.
And now we know what they're.
We really like him. We hope to see him in the future. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, spoiler alert.
They get in there and knock out these. He takes care of all the droids handily, like no problems whatsoever.
Droids down.
He handles them. The Beskar still saves his butt again.
Yes.
So
He took some shots.
we all need to get some Beskar steel.
You don't have yours yet?
No, man, I haven't rescued anybody or turned in any bounties to get my own.
And those were like some heavy rifles that the smaller droids were carrying, because you would see their gunslingers were kind of going off the droids, but as soon as he got a hold of the droid's rifle, that thing had a little
Yeah.
more kick to it.
Those are those were the standard line Rebel Fleet Trooper blasters, the ones that you saw the Rebel Fleet Troopers using at the beginning of New Hope. And my thought on that is that those things are designed to cut through Stormtrooper armor, which I know that there's a big joke now that Stormtrooper armor is pretty much useless. Well, probably not. I mean, I think that if you were going to be using sidearms against a Stormtrooper,
Yeah.
like smaller arms against a Stormtrooper, they might be effective if you found a chink in them. I know that Princess Leia's little holdout blaster that she used proved pretty effective on the Tantive 4 and everything. But
Yeah, she did okay, but she was Jedi. She was expert.
yeah, man,
She
maybe
cheated.
you could
She used the
make
Force.
the argument that maybe the Force subconsciously played a role in that. I don't know how solid that argument would be.
That probably won't hold up in court.
Yeah, not really.
It probably won't. But yeah, he did take some pretty good shots.
Oh, yeah.
He did take some pretty good shots. And I was kind of it was interesting
It was
to see
beautifully choreographed. That
Yes.
whole fight scene between Mando and the droids was just so on point, and I think it's the finest example that we've seen yet of his prowess as a fighter.
that. Oh yeah.
Right?
Now what if we were going to compare Mando to another character in whatever universe you want to compare him to, whatever universe. I'll give you guys a second to think
Other
about
than
it.
Iron Man?
Other than Iron Man, my thought here, and I told Ken this a few weeks back, is Batman. He reminds me of Batman.
Oh, you know what? That's not too far off the mark.
Yeah, he's got the gadgets.
Yeah.
He's got the ninja stealth thing going on.
Yeah.
And the way he carries himself in a battle, he just walks into it. He's just like, yeah, I'm just going to go fight you guys.
Yeah, that's kind of on point.
Yeah.
Like we talked about the Batman versus Superman scene, and you could definitely throw the Mando like right into that little battle scene where he takes out like the whole gang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the episode 1, or when he went back into the stronghold and took out all those
Client.
guys, all the troopers.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of Batman, and so that's my thought. But that's what you guys can let us know down below what you think of. But I was thinking Batman, and then the other one I was thinking was John Wick. He kind of has some John Wick-esque because he just takes hits and he just keeps coming. And so
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
Well, not the Juggernaut hero. He
Just
is just that
strong.
he is a Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Like the Juggernaut lowercase j.
yeah.
Jug.
So that was pretty interesting to see
Sorry.
that. One of the things that I guess we'll kind of backtrack to Mayfeld for a second, because there were some jabs thrown.
Yes.
There were some jabs thrown, right? Well,
You're talking about verbal jabs, right?
I'm talking about verbal
yeah.
jabs with the whole sharpshooter thing,
Not being impressed with him being a former Imperial.
right?
Can we talk about that for a little bit?
Absolutely.
Can we go off mission for a little bit?
We can
there?
go wherever we
yeah,
like.
All right.
Yes.
I
This is a side objective.
I think this is the first time in this series in which I've taken exception to something like that being thrown out there.
Go for it.
Because I think that to acknowledge the joke, the fandom joke of Stormtroopers miss everything, is a disservice to Star Wars in general.
Really?
Because I know that when we see them in the Star Wars films, they aren't hitting their targets, but their targets are heroes.
Right.
Their targets are the main characters, and if they had been successful in hitting those targets, then
well, maybe they were bad at other targets.
well, just think about John Wick and how he's going after all these people, and how many times does he actually get shot? Not many. All those bullets being shot at him, and only like 1 or 2 of them actually connect. It's just a trope. It's just something that happens in movies like this. The bad guys shooting at the good guy, they're not going to hit the good guy.
That's because that would be the end of the story.
That would be the end of the story.
Yeah,
but I mean, and
I still laugh.
Alec Guinness, as Obi-Wan Kenobi even says, only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise.
Right.
By and large, Imperials have a reputation for hitting their mark. It's just that when they've gone up against Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, they've found opponents who are so formidable or so lucky, whether it's like just in luck in general or the Force.
The Force.
Having some sort of an impact on it, that something happened that steered those blaster bolts clear of them, that altered the stormtroopers' ability to aim. I don't know. But to say that an entire empire was staffed with an army that couldn't hit their target, it's a great joke, but don't take it too terribly seriously.
I get where you're coming from on that. I still laughed.
I did too. I'm not going to say that. I have a tendency to do this.
I would say in canon, it's probably more of a joke after the Empire fell than during the Empire.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. That's deep.
Yeah, and it could just be we don't know what sort of a unit that Mayfield was with. Whether he was a Death Trooper or whether there was some sort of unit within the Empire that we don't know about.
Yeah, because all he said, he was not a stormtrooper. He was a sharpshooter.
Yes.
With the Empire, so it could have been like Cara Dune.
He could have been a scout trooper.
It could have been a scout trooper. I mean, Cara Dune was a shock trooper. So these people have had past or history in the Empire. And the militaries of that, different battalions, whatever, and now it's over with, so they're off doing other things, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing they had a previous life, doing new things, but
I got an exclusive for everybody. He was a snowtrooper elite.
Oh,
exclusive.
Did he have a blanket and everything? Yeah.
Oh, snowtrooper elite. Did he get a blanket? That's interesting.
That's how he survived.
Little security blanket.
Security blanket.
Does he suck on his thumb too? Him and his blanket. Yeah.
Is that an Imperial joke for the armies? They suck on their thumbs and use blankets.
It is now.
You heard it here first.
It is now.
That's canon.
Snowtrooper elite.
Sorry, I'm sure that blanket over the snowtrooper's shoulder is going to have some actual real life connotation in the film.
Oh yeah, that means it's just going to be warmer than he normally would be.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. If you don't know that, that's from upcoming film. There's a thing.
There's a blanket.
There's a blanket.
There's a hot toy.
Right. That's right, hot toy. So he goes on here. We kind of talked about him being a sharpshooter thing. That was kind of one of those things. They were throwing jabs back and forth at each other. Even the Devorian guy talks about, I thought the Mando would be bigger, right?
Right.
I thought they would be bigger and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it harkens back to that whole alpha.
Yeah.
I don't want to say alpha male, but just alpha character.
Well, I think they had this team of 4. They knew each other. They worked with each other on the past, and now they got this other guy coming in board, and they just don't want him there. I think that's pretty much what it is. They don't care for the guy. They don't.
And like you said, the underlying intent is it's not like he's going to be part of their crew, so...
Yeah, no reason to make friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they get in there, go jump back on the ship. They kind of rescue... They get on the... I guess the first thing they do is they actually lock up the Mando, right?
Yep.
Or did they rescue the guy first? I can't remember.
They rescue the prisoner, and of course the Mando recognizes.
It's kind of like a single.
He pushes him in. Yeah, they rescue the one guy.
Okay, you're out. You're in.
You're in. Yeah. And the blaster bolt bouncing off all the walls. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think it started to hit the Mando what was going down as soon as he saw him.
Right.
Yeah.
And luckily,
you almost saw the light bulb.
Right. Luckily, they were in the prison cell. The windows were open, so you could actually reach out. So that was cool. Good job for him.
That whole slick move that he immediately frees himself by just using his bat gadget his bat rope to
it's Batman
to hook that droid and just break his arm off and just open the. It was slick. The whole deft maneuvering that he pulled there was just.
It didn't even faze him. He's just like, I got this.
Oh, look at that.
It's almost like he's done it before.
There's a droid. Could be almost like he's done it before.
He's like, I've been here before. I'm going to do this. It's like
gotta handle this.
problem solving on the fly is not a problem for Mando. He's
Time
got
to get
this,
out.
right? And of course, there's the droid helped him escape, and then we knew what was going on after that. You knew it was on.
It was like a total Star Wars horror film.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah. If all of a sudden he takes over. It's like suddenly has control over the entire world that they're inhabiting. Mm-hmm. He's blocking them off. He's separating them. He's forcing them to split up. They're breaking all the rules.
He's a predator. He's a hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
He's sectioning them off from the team, splitting them up, and just taking them out one by one. I mean, it's brilliant.
Can I just say the bit with Mayfield when he was when they were doing the strobe effect with the lights in the background, and then they flash on once, Mando's not there. The next time they flash, he's there. Then he disappears for the third flash, and the fourth flash, he's closer. Horrifying.
It was brilliant.
Horrifying on the surface.
Imagine if it was a horror film.
It makes you so giddy because you're imagining yourself as the Mandalorian. I mean, he's the hero. He's the protagonist. He's the one that you're picturing. We're seeing the entire world through his eyes. So we get to experience like being him by watching this, and it's just like, oh, good. I want to do that to somebody. So.
The takedowns.
Stay tuned next week. Strobe effect. We'll be right here.
We're totally bringing that to the show.
We'll hook that up. It's interesting because
Ken's here. Ken's not here.
It's one of those things where Mayfield's just looking around going, like, he didn't turn around at all. He just looked one way. But he really should have turned around. Sorry, buddy.
By the time he did, he was already on the other side of it.
Yeah, it was done. Yeah. He finally rotated
and when
the
he
camera.
realizes it's too late.
It's done. So he took care of him, and it was brilliant.
And they weren't total slackers. I mean, they had some skills. I mean, they had the muscle. It was definitely a heist team put together. They had skill sets that were impressive.
Oh, yeah.
If you think back, then you can see they gave you a clear indicator of who was the superior force there with that first encounter with the droids.
Yes.
Because you've got 4 droids attacking these 5 people. Four people.
4 people.
Yeah, 4 on. It's 4 on 4, and everybody's backed into a corner. And the mercenaries don't have a hope in hell, and they know it. Their blasters are having no effect on the droids for some reason. They do later. We don't know why. They're pinned down. There's nothing they can do. Mando shows up and just wipes them all out. So these 4 droids that were taking on 3 people, they couldn't do anything. Mando, one man, shows up and knocks them all out of the picture.
That's because he's awesome.
So at that point, you know that they don't have a chance, especially when they split up.
Right. Spoiler alert, I am the Mando.
Watch your horror movies, mercenaries.
Right.
Don't split up.
Live and learn.
Spoiler, I'm the Mando.
May I recommend Scream? It's the first one.
All right, Learn,
Learn the rules.
That's exactly right.
You'll
Stay
live
together.
Yeah.
It was just a great choreographed scene. The whole deal. He fights him. Fights Mayfield. Then he goes and fights the girl. I can't remember her name.
Sheehan.
Yeah, that's right, Sheehan. And she's got all these blades. She's throwing them off.
That was magic.
That was cool. He misses.
For those who didn't catch it, that was Nifadora Tonks herself. Natalia Tena.
I don't know her.
Harry Potter fans.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Harry Potter. She was
wow.
Yeah, she was Remus Lupin's wife.
The werewolf guy. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Cool, right?
Learning stuff.
Yeah.
You learn.
She's just got this quality about her, man, that she brings to every role she's in.
Great episode of characters.
Yeah.
Oh, the characters are fantastic.
Yeah, can I just take a break now and just run down the list? Berg was played by Clancy Brown, the Kurgan himself, also known as the voice of Savage Opress. Mark Boone Jr., obviously we know him from Sons of Anarchy. Mayfield, comedian Bill Burr. Sheehan, Natalia Tena, as we just talked about. Zero is a guy named Richard Ayoade, who I've never heard of before. Ismael Cruz Cordova played Quinn. We talked about Matt Lanter playing Devon was the guy's name, which isn't that like a couch, sort of a lounge, sort of a couch. That's Devon
in Star Wars.
Devon.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
And now we're coming up on the end here.
I was just impressed the captain wasn't an Antilles, so.
How speaking of the characters,
get around.
We got the knife throwing
proud heritage of
deal with. We had, and then Berg shows up. How tough was that dude?
Yeah,
he was like beastly,
fireproof.
Yeah,
fireproof. I knew that Deverones had to be formidable.
Holy cow!
But to have him take a face full of flamethrower and just like laugh it off, Literally.
Really?
Yeah, that was like, oh.
He was tough.
I'm so glad that it was Clancy Brown playing that role.
It was great.
For so many reasons. He's perfect for it.
It was great. They said he's the muscle at the very beginning of the episode. So I had a feeling he was like a tank.
Yeah.
There's your
Awesome.
Juggernaut.
There's your Juggernaut.
There's your Juggernaut.
Literally, then when one of the things, they were fighting in the control room, and Mando closes the door on him. And I was like, cool. We'll flashback to episode 1 where he cut the guy in half with the door. And
yeah, he's done that trick before.
Lift that door right up.
And he goes, nope, I'm still here. He's like smiling at him, right?
He's
like, I got this. And then takes care. I guess the second door takes. I guess that takes care of him because we don't see him again. So I guess I don't know if he lost a head, I don't know, whatever it was, but he got out.
No, he doesn't lose the head. But yeah, well, you think that he does. You think that he's been crushed by.
You think something.
Yeah,
but we don't get to see it.
Not yet.
And so he kind of. The Mando gets out, but that fight scene was fantastic. We got to see the whistling birds again. Didn't care about those.
Totally no effect.
No.
Shrugged them off.
The flamethrower, which I think we've seen the flamethrower in just about every episode now, which is cool.
Which again, with the whistling birds, it makes me again think that more's going on under the helmet because none of them targeted the attacker, where we saw them clearly hit those stormtroopers. So there's got to be some kind of targeting or something in the helmet, right?
Yeah, it's almost like he fired them off blindly, right? Like he didn't take the time to lock target. Like if Iron Man had used those shoulder-mounted projectiles of his without actually taking the time to let the computer lock onto the individual, just fire them.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get with
pray, I think
that's dangerous in a crowd. But since they only had one enemy, it was okay.
Also, there was I think it was a slightly more constrained space that they were in too. Lower ceiling, smaller room. So
yeah, it was pretty cool. But that fight scene was great. All of the fight scenes were great. Every bit of them. We had so much action. This goes back to why this is my favorite episode. We got to see like the prison break aspect of it. Then we got to see Mando fight a whole bunch of droids by himself. We got to see him escape prison cell. Then we got to see him tackle like one by one, just take off the mercenaries one by one, just take them all out. And it was, and then in the middle of all of that, you got this droid back on the ship, poking around in the computer system.
That was a nosy droid.
He was very noisy, and he was a smart mouth. But he's poking around in there and finds this message from Grief, and finds the guy we've been missing the whole episode was Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Other than that one little brief thing, I think I'm going to make a pet, and that whole thing may fail.
Yeah, that was real weird.
That was kind of strange. But Baby Yoda comes out and just kind of just watching him, going, "What's up?" It was.
I'm just going to speak up in defense of that whole weird bit with Baby Yoda. I think it was kind of necessary because that harkens to the whole, they're struggling for dominance. They're trying to find an edge on Mando, and they're manipulative. They're trying to figure out okay, what is this thing to you? How meaningful is this? That's why he pretended to drop it.
Right.
You saw that bit where Mando,
he was totally being a jerk.
Where Mando slightly flinched. That was a giveaway.
Yeah.
He showed his cards there, and that's exactly what Mayfield was trying to get out of that.
And he did a good job.
He tried to take the Mando's helmet off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he wouldn't.
Yeah, don't do that.
He wouldn't take it. And then do you think there was a relationship between Mando and Shira?
Oh, I don't think there's any question.
I think there was some stuff because when they were in the ship, they were talking about their history and their past, which kind of like they were talking about their relationship, however that was, whether romantic, whatever it was. I think it definitely alluded to that. But what we got insight in that scene, again, this goes back to being an excellent episode. We got insight into Mando's past. Like maybe his young 20s years, teenage years.
College
years, right? Where he was off doing mercenary work.
Yeah, I think what we're looking at
he had a different
here
lifestyle.
And this kind of goes to a point that I wanted to bring up in the midst of this conversation. Every episode of Mandalorian, I'm trying to look for themes and just some sort of subtext that's underlying the whole narrative. And in this, one of the things that came to my mind is the whole concept of you can never go home. Mm-hmm. So what we've got here is Mando's reached a point in his current life path in which he has no choice but to go back to his roots and have an encounter with some people that he ran with in his past when he was younger, when he was more reckless, when he was more inclined to make mistakes, and when he was just developing the skills that he might need to flourish in not just in the underground world, but in life in general.
Right.
And he ran with these questionable sorts, and they had some good times. And at that particular time, they were a good mesh for each other because they had common goals.
Target
And
practice.
they had each other's backs. Yeah, they had each other's backs, and their relationship was such that it was mutually beneficial. For whatever reason, Mando grew disenchanted with that. He had other things that he wanted to accomplish for reasons we have yet to been revealed, if they ever will be. He left that group and went off on his own and had his own experiences.
And his morals changed.
Yeah. And this kind of, and I think that anybody out there, especially, I mean, at my age right now, where I'm approaching midlife, and I'm just like, I don't know that I could go back and hang out with the people that I was hanging out with in college.
I know I could.
I think we've gone our separate ways. It's been 20 plus years since then, and we've grown in different ways. It would be a completely different experience, and to try to go back and to try to live or have experiences similar to those that we had would just be disastrous.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
No,
it wouldn't work.
So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what they're. I think that's kind of what they're talking about here. Is, if anybody who's had that sort of experience, if you've been able to go back to people that you hung out with that you haven't seen in decades, or any number of years, and have a positive experience, where you've all grown in the same ways, so that you can actually just kind of fall back into a rhythm, then you're lucky. Because that's not always the way that it goes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
you
right.
You can never go home. And if you do go home, they will not let you forget who you were.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Right.
My biggest takeaway is he's been the Mando for quite a while. They refer to him as the Mandalorian. Nobody in that crew has seen his face, so it's not like he just decided to be a Mandalorian like a year or two ago. He's been the Mandalorian for quite a while now.
He's worn a helmet, if not.
Yeah.
This is the interesting thing, because I thought that there was a disparity in that, because when they got together in the Razor Crest, and they were talking about how how he didn't take his helmet off, whatnot.
Then was his girlfriend kind of deal?
Ranzer was talking when he first saw him, was like, Mando, is that you under that helmet? He was wearing a different helmet. Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's what I finally just woke up and realized. That's why there was a moment of forced recognition, almost. Like he had to actually study him and say, oh, yeah, is that you under that bucket?
Maybe he, that's very possible.
Just like he gets his upgrades with his armor. I mean, he's not wearing the same armor that we saw in episode 1 even.
Got a new helmet. Yeah, that makes total sense. Because even the Shira, they asked if she had ever seen his face or whatever, and she goes, "A lady never tells," and that kind of stuff. And I thought that was pretty good.
Delivered so well.
I like that.
She's so good.
I thought that was done very well.
I'm not crushing.
Well, so he gets all these fight scenes going on with this guy. He takes them out one by one. Ironically, throws them back in the prison cell that he was in.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
Got what they deserved.
Picked up the transmitter from the human.
But we don't know that yet.
No, we don't know it yet. But he looked at it, and then it was like a cut off from there. And then he escapes off and goes back. And now, the one part about that was interesting. The Quinn, the guy they rescued, Quinn, kind of backtracking a little bit. He gets split off from his sister, and then he's just like, nah, screw that, I'm out.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, he is all about himself. His sister risked everything to go rescue him, and he's like, nah, whatever.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second too, because we haven't actually seen, especially not in live action, the Twi'lek species represented all that much. There was quite a bit going on with them in both the Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yes.
But we got to see sort of an upper echelon, the royalty.
Right.
Cham Syndulla and his rebels and whatnot.
The teeth kind of threw me off. The fangs.
The fangs, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off. I was like, wow. I was like, I don't remember that with. But anyway, so
I think we got a hint of them with Bib Fortuna, but maybe I'm wrong.
You might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I think you might be right with that.
Yeah. But they were despicable, man. I mean, just the scum of the Twi'lek world.
Yeah, they were.
No
not
morals whatsoever. Just no code.
Because he says, if you he talks to Mayfield, he goes, "What if you get me out of here? I'll pay you triple the credits or whatever." And I'm going, you just betrayed your sister, and now you want this guy to trust you like 3 seconds later. And Mayfield goes, oh, okay. I was like, do you not connect the dots? He just betrayed his sister. Anyway.
Well, you got to roll with the tide, I guess.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, whatever. Hey, he's a mercenary. He's like, whoever's paying me the most, I'm in. Which, that makes sense.
You make the deal, then you watch your back until you get your money.
Right.
Yep.
But it was just...
That's how I've always done things as a mercenary.
You're not supposed to tell people, man. Not supposed to tell. You can hire us as mercenaries down below. There's a link.
Join the Patreon. That's a Patreon tier.
Yes, it is.
A mercenary tier on
Mercenary
Patreon. We should absolutely have one of those. That'd be great. We may not be very trustworthy in that. They get he leaves the guys in the prison cell, gets and then heads back to the station.
Right.
And it was great, man. He did the job. No questions asked.
Delivered
Got
as soon as he got questioned what happened to everybody else, he's like, hey, remember? No questions.
No questions.
No questions. Collects his money and gets the hell out of Dodge.
He's out of there.
Yeah. And then
Wouldn't you think it's the end of the episode? But
then
nope.
Rancer drops the hammer, kill him.
Yep.
And up comes this gunship, which is glorious, kind of reminiscent of General Grievous's Starfighter a little bit.
Yep. The red and black lights going on there. It was cool.
And
out of nowhere.
It took a long time, for that thing to come up on the elevator and get ready to launch. But as it's launching, Quinn,
Yep.
feels oh, wait, is my phone vibrating? Yeah.
Yep.
And pulls out, he's got the tracker on him.
And it's not Siri.
Yeah, and it is not Siri. It is a trio of
X-Wings.
New Republic X-Wings. First time we've seen X-Wings in live action outside of a film.
They were great. They were effective.
Yeah. And they were pretty competent pilots, too. People who have actually successfully piloted us through several different episodes of The Mandalorian, as it turns out.
Boom.
All three pilots of those X-Wings, in case you didn't realize it, were directors on The Mandalorian. Dave Filoni being the most obvious.
They were great.
And Rick Famuyiwa.
Yep.
I don't even know how to pronounce your name, Rick, and if you ever watch this, which why would you?
Watch it, Rick.
Or why wouldn't you?
We know you're watching it.
Yeah. Then and Deborah Chow. Yeah.
Yep.
All three of those people playing in that order. Trapper Wolf is Dave Filoni's name.
I love it.
Isn't it great?
It's a great name. It's almost as though they knew people. And they said,
it's like they knew people.
We'd like to be pilots.
Hey, what are you doing Tuesday? Want to be on my episode?
We need some X-Wing pilots. Who's in? You're not doing nothing.
It's like they're not even doing casting now. It's just like,
No.
you know what? I'm just going to call Clancy Brown and see if he wants to play a Deveronian for a day.
Exactly.
And
hook it up.
Jib Dodger is Rick Famuyiwa's character.
I like that name.
That's,
Jib.
That's
You can call me
pretty
Jib.
cool. Jib. And Deborah Chow's name is Sash Kettler or Ketter. I can't read my own handwriting. I think it's Ketter, though.
It was odd when I saw Dave
I'm just
Filoni.
going to shut the book on that.
I saw Dave Filoni and the X-Wing. I was like,
I was giddy.
I laughed. I was like, that's awesome.
Good for you.
It was great.
He's lived his whole life wanting to be an X-Wing pilot.
Who doesn't
and he finally
want
got
to
to
be?
get that goal. I mean,
They're so chill too. It's awesome.
it's like that bit in when you see the behind-the-scenes shots from Rogue One, where I can't remember the guy's name, the guy who played the general who was the leader of Blue Squadron.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Leader.
and you see him when he sits down in the cockpit and he just starts giggling.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I feel you, bro.
That
That's
was
exactly
great.
how I would be if I was piloting an X-Wing in Star Wars.
By the way, just throwing this out there, Favreau, since you're watching this, we would like to be X-Wing pilots. So just...
If you're looking, and we're in the
TIE
neighborhood.
Fighter's fine too.
Which we might be.
We're good. We'll be in the neighborhood if you...
Yeah, if I've got to put on a TIE
Yeah.
Fighter pilot helmet, that's fine.
I probably played more TIE Fighter than X-Wing. So.
Oh, he wants to be a villain. I want to be an X-Wing pilot because it's just awesome. But I also want an astromech in my X-Wing. But it was amazing because they go down there, the X-Wings come by, they blow up the station, and then Mando, I think this perfectly sets us up for 7 and 8. Perfectly. And I'll throw out why. Mando has a repaired ship. He has money.
Yeah.
Okay. He has, for all intents and purposes, he's at his highest point of success so far. Like he has we don't know if anybody's chasing
Then
him down.
something's got to happen.
Some things, in other words, this is the most peaceful he's been so far.
So something's got to happen to sweep the ground from.
Because
under his feet.
we got that. So 7, I think, is going to be a teaser, a nail biter. And then I think 8's obviously going to wrap up the season, which is kind of shocking that we're already here. But we're here.
Which 8, I think, is going to be directed by Taika
Taika
Waititi.
Waititi.
Oh yeah, Taika. Yes, it is. And so I think episode 7 is going to be fantastic. Now we already know they're doing season 2. So that's confirmed. So if they're going to leave, are they going to leave us on a cliffhanger for season 8 or episode 8, or are they going to wrap it up and then we're going to start again? I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I can almost guarantee, I will predict this episode 7 will be a cliffhanger. I think that's what's going to happen. I know they can been wrapping up each episode, but to get to the finale, I can see episode 7 as a cliffhanger, and I'm excited for it. Which brings us, I guess.
Yeah, we've got to have Marf. Marf. Why can't I say Moff?
Moff.
Yeah, what's wrong with me? Why can't I say Moff?
Wrong
Moff,
universe.
What is
Captain Marvel could be out there.
Could happen.
what is Gus Fring's character's name?
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah, because we talked about it in last week's episode.
I feel like Moff Gideon is going to be introduced at the end of next episode.
Yeah.
If
he
not
needs to be
sooner.
there. He's running out of time.
Yeah.
He's going to have to show up at some point.
And it'll be interesting to see if he's connected somehow to what's her name's character, to the assassin.
Right.
If that was indeed him, and I'm
close
almost
that loop.
positive that was him at the end.
Well, we know we're going to see Cara Dune was cast for 2 episodes, so we've only seen her in 1. So I don't know if that's going to be like a wrap up episode 8 thing where everybody comes together, big grand finale thing. I don't know how
that sounds good.
Yeah.
I think I'll back that play.
And,
I think that something's going to happen. I think he's going to lose the child sometime in the next episode.
Yeah,
And
there's
then
got to
he's
be
gonna have
something.
and then he's going to gather the troops.
Yeah.
It's familiar. It's familiar because they did that same thing in Rebels. When you think about it, that's at the very end. They brought in everybody.
Right, you got to have everybody.
Everyone.
So like Cara Dune's got to come back. The Enclave, the other Mando's got to come back.
Yep, yeah.
And we're gonna have a final fight. All right, a final fight because final fights are tight.
Final fight time.
Right, we gotta have a final fight, and I'm interested to see how it goes. But I guess the last thing we kind of talk about this thing is the very end where kind of before the space station blows up, where Baby Yoda is trying to do the Force something with the droid. That was cute.
That was adorable.
What was he doing?
Did I do that?
I don't know.
There was like that brief second where he's like, huh?
Like, what was he trying to do to a droid? I don't know. I don't know.
Spoilers.
Can
Crush it like a tin can with the
Baby
Force?
Yoda is in control.
Do we have precedents of Jedi, the Force being affecting droids? Like mind on droid? I don't know if we have precedents.
No,
for
but
that.
we have, but affecting the physical reality.
The reality
He could
of it.
lift him, turn
Yeah.
him around,
The
crush him like a
Force
tin
push.
can,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
It worked
it's
for him.
Clearly
Because he got
very
shot in
powerful.
the head, but it was cute
His
because
control of the Force is clearly not refined. He's
No.
limited to lifting rocks and
animals.
mud horns. And,
Yeah, but it was super cute, and because he's super cute, the toy market is flooded with Baby Yodas, and thank you.
They will be flooded with Baby Yodas. Yeah, because they
Actually, licensed ones.
Licensed ones,
Yeah.
exactly. So
stick with the licensed people. You're going to get better quality.
if you buy the licensed stuff, we get to keep getting awesome content. Just throwing that out there. So
Yes.
the Yoda Baby Yoda thing was amazing. I'm super excited about it. But I do think we're gonna have a final fight. I think we're gonna have a gathering, a reunion, if you will, for episode 8. So episode 7, I think something's gonna go very wrong, and Mando's gonna have a bad day.
You know, incidentally, Kent brought up something interesting in the car on the way here. We were talking about the Baby Yoda thing. This kind of goes hand in hand with the Baby Yoda and the toys that are being marketed, and how Lucasfilm rightly kept a lid on the Mandalorian to such an extent that we don't have any marketing, any materials out there that we can just go out and purchase because they didn't want anything spoiled. That includes Baby Yoda toys, obviously, but it also includes books.
Right?
We don't have an art of book yet. We don't have the visual guide, the visual
Right.
dictionary for the Mandalorian yet, and I'm guessing that those are currently being produced.
You would think so.
Because we definitely need one.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
I'll buy
One of the things that that Kent brought up was, what were you saying about how?
I would love to see a map of where the episodes are taking place, because I want to know
Exactly.
how far out in the outer rim they are. Obviously, we know Tatooine is way far out compared to the core, like Coruscant and everything. So to be able to see kind of the path that the Mando's gone on, visiting these different planets. That'd be awesome for me.
I'm in on that.
Yeah.
I'm in. So make it happen by the end of the year. That'd be great.
I'm stoked for the books. The books are something that I always get. So.
I'm in. I love learning about that and learning about the different, because they're going to have like information on the other Mandalorians and their armor and history of the Enclave and all kind of stuff, and the client and whatever the heck Baby Yoda's. I mean, they're just calling him the child right now. So,
if you have the opportunity to pick up, anybody out there, if you haven't really picked up any of the visual dictionaries, maybe you look at them and think, "Oh, this is for kids" or whatever. Not so. It's a rich tapestry of information that any Star Wars fan would find fun at the very least, if not useful.
Right. Yeah. So going on, talking about next week. So we've got a couple big events happening next week.
What?
So we've got
What's happening next week?
Well, episode 7 drops on Wednesday and not Friday.
That is so weird.
That's a big deal. That's
so
a big
weird.
deal, and that tells me that whatever happens in episode 7 may very well have an impact on Star Wars Episode 9.
It could. So we will definitely be watching about that. So we got episode 7. Then the next day, that's Wednesday. The next day is Thursday, which is episode 9, the end of the Skywalker saga.
There's a movie coming out, people.
It's a movie.
In case nobody knew. In case nobody told you.
Right. In case you haven't seen any trailers about it, the most recent one.
What time is your ticket?
5:30.
And I'm 6.
You're at 6.
5:30.
You're 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow! So there we go.
Half-hour increments.
We're gonna
JavaJawaJaw.
and Greg Cook's gonna see. He's in at 10 p.m.
Yeah,
so
late.
I'm like, wow.
On purpose.
On purpose. Yeah, nobody.
That was by design.
So I've got my tickets. I got assigned seating, so I don't have to worry about that. But it's I'm ready, man. The IMAX, the whole.
I know I brought this up, and my seat is E11 because Stormtrooper Blaster.
Blasters.
Yeah.
I wanted number 66, but couldn't get it. No, mine's E12 actually. Mine actually
is it right?
It might actually
is
is
right?
E12. Yeah, it actually is E12. I remember that.
I think E12 is E11.
Yeah.
What's the name of the new model?
I don't know, but I know I just have E12. But it's we're excited about that. So the thing is, we've got episode 7. We're probably going to do. I guess we got to kind of figure out what we're doing live stream. We're going to do a video. Regardless of that, next week's going to be Star Wars work. Stay tuned to the channel, whether it's live streams and turn on your notifications for that, or we do a video next Saturday. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to play out just yet, but it's we're excited about it. We're excited about it. So
stoked.
Yeah, episode 9. Man, I'm just. If there's a Baby Yoda in episode 9, I'm telling you, it's going to be.
Or any kind of a Yoda.
It's going to be.
A Yoda that's not so baby.
Yeah, it could be either
like
one.
A teenage Yoda.
A teenage
It could be
Yoda.
like teenage Groot.
It could be an old, super
I
old
am
Yoda. I don't know if you guys saw the latest trailer, but it was like.
Ghost Yoda.
Crazy.
Yeah, I have actually straight up made it a point not to look at trailers.
It's great.
In the past couple weeks.
It's not spoiler or anything, but it's just good. No, there's no spoilers. It's just good.
The visuals for the space battle scenes are just over the top. Really, J.J. Abrams and his team bringing a new look.
Yep.
I'm really stoked to see how it all plays out.
Finish strong. Finish strong.
All right. So as we wrap up the episodes of Mandalorian, we're going to talk about some. We may go back, kind of recast or review some of the older Star Wars films. We may go back. We have Clone Wars coming up soon, so we got some content. Just because the Mandalorian ends in episode 8 doesn't mean JavaJawaJaw is going anywhere.
Oh, far from it.
We will be here talking about all kinds of Star Wars.
We're just
stuff.
getting started.
Bam! You better believe it, because
we have Star Wars coffee and talk.
We're good.
We never talked about the coffee shop.
If you would like to know, this is from Brakeman's Coffee in
Brakeman's.
Matthews, North Carolina.
Thus far, in all of our coffee excursions based on JavaJawaJaw, the best tasting coffee that we've had thus far.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I just got a black coffee. It's their own blend. I just got a black coffee.
They I think they roast their own beans.
Yeah.
So
Kent got
props. Brakeman's.
Whatever that is, iced
It's
something.
nice coffee.
Iced coffee. So I just got black coffee. So.
It might be a blend of Bakerman's and.
Yeah, this is the Brakeman's blend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got stickers and everything. They were great.
Medium-bodied roast.
They were great. We'll have some footage of that maybe earlier in the episode. You guys can see that. But we're excited about this thing. Star Wars week coming up. It's going to be fantastic. But for us, guys, for episode 6, we have spoken.